gotta do this stuff.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Chance Myers. This is Gabba Reservin, and this is Chuck D, and this is the legend, the myth, Latoria. She's our guest, and yeah, she's got a lot of stories to tell. This is the three you must hear.
Oklahoma Zone, three you must hear.
Oklahoma Zone.
Oklahoma.
The Oklahomas, yeah.
Finest. All right, so I guess we're gonna start the question, and Chance, you go first.
Okay, so Latoria, I love your hair, by the way. Looks great. Yeah. So you're from around here, right? You grew up here.
I did.
Yeah. So like, how old were you whenever you started getting into like the mix of it all, like getting in trouble, you know, getting in with the wrong crowd and all that? If you don't mind us asking a question.
Then we're gonna start off spicy.
Yeah. Spicy. I started getting into trouble. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say trouble. I wasn't in trouble. I started getting out probably about 4th grade.
Damn, 4th grade?
4th grade, yeah.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I guess it runs in the family with Chuck. Yeah. Wow. So did you like graduate high school and everything?
I did. So I can go back to that. 4th grade, we were smoking weed. We were, trying to skip school. We were supposed to be walking to school in the morning. But,
Yeah.
We'd sit behind the library because I live behind the library, and we would sit there on the side and wait until, then we'd walk to school. We knew we better make it there, but we would just say we were late because we had to walk. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty good excuse.
Yeah. So that was 4th grade for me.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, my mom's side of the family, like everybody dropped out when they were like, 4th grade was like high for my mom's side of the family. God.
That's actually a good fact. Latoria was the first person in our family to graduate high school and college.
Really? Dang, I didn't know that. Wow. That's crazy.
So I went to 6th grade. That's when I dropped out of school.
Really? 6th grade?
6th
Holy
grade.
shit, that's crazy.
And yes, so I did, but I ended up going back later in, alternative school. That helped me out in completing my high school diploma.
Yeah.
And then later, I went to college right out of high school, but then hit some more bumps in the road and more bumps.
So when you went to college right out of high school, what'd you go for?
I was going to go for counseling. That was that was always my dream, was to do counseling.
Yeah. Wow. So you kind of got there.
Yeah.
Over time. Yeah.
So you say you started in the streets pretty young. What do you feel like was your turnaround point?
My turnaround point, I had a lot of them, because there were times that I would get to, I would start doing good, and then next time I would back out, I'd get back in with the wrong crowds again.
Yeah, it's easy to fall back into the same crowd easily.
But what really got me back in was my son. I found out I was pregnant. I was 16, and I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son. And I'd always remembered, listening to the teachers and stuff, listening to the counselors. I was called in by counselors, juvenile officers. They would always tell me, you got so much potential. Why are you doing this to yourself? And then, and I got to give a lot of credit to my cousin, actually Charles' sister. Sabina.
Really?
She always, she used to talk to me and would tell me that, I was better than what I was putting myself through, and so I always lean back to that. So when I found out I was pregnant, I remembered her and what she was doing with her when she was pregnant with her daughter, and I said, I need to do the same, and that was go back to school.
Is that what got you started in counseling?
Following her.
Oh, following her footsteps.
Yeah, following her footsteps. Not only that, is that I always, like I said, I had come across a lot of different counselors, different guidance counselors that were always, trying to tell me the right thing. And so I just knew that I had been down that wrong path, and I wanted to get back.
Yeah.
Kind of telling you that you probably would have made a good counselor.
So probably,
The best way to help people is like you've been through it too.
Yeah.
Well, I've been taught a few times, like, man, you should do something in that particular aspect just because it's like you're easy to talk to and just one of those people like to vent to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like to vent to you in general. So, what got you started in the church?
In the church.
Running the church. And
So I met my husband back in, I was going through a real tough another court case because that was the story of my life. I'd get on track, mess up, and yeah, I was back in the situation again. Well, this time I was facing a tough sentence, and I went to church, and that's how I met my husband. And we prayed, and he told me he was going to help me, and he said he wasn't going to help me. He said God was going to help me too.
yeah, definitely.
So we became friends, and he was in New York, and I was still, he moved back to New York. Sorry, he went back to New York. He was just here for a revival. And he went back, and we became friends as far as talking on the phone. He was like, always be praying for me every week. I was like, every week I'm like, I'm going to prison. He said, no, you're not. And I say, yes, I am. He said, is that faith? And I would say, no. And so here we were, and I say, I'm back in faith. Okay, I'm not going to prison. And then now, next week I'm back. So with all that, everything worked itself out between all the groups and things that I was going to. Totally believing, praying and utilizing all my friends in ministry.
Wow.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah, so then Ted and I, they asked him to, once we made it through that, a friend asked him to come to this church and do a revival, and he came, and the parishioners, they liked him and asked him to take over the church. And he said he would pray about it. And so he did.
Oh, wow.
He moved down, and so that's how I got into ministry in the way, as far as that we got. This is how the church, how we got the church. Is for my friend retired.
Okay. So it kind of just was like passed down to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
By my, what did I call her?
That
My
speaks a lot
spiritual mother.
for someone to want to pass that. Like they had to have had some serious faith in you to believe that like you're for someone that they would feel like, all right, I deem you worthy to keep on the legacy of not only running the church, but as well as whatever they, I would say, taught to you. You're kind of like keeping keeping the fire lit. Like you're being able to take in what you learned and then give to the people who may have been in your situation or somebody that could have been going down a similar path, and to hear somebody who shared a similar story, it's like it's like a if they made it out, like what do I have to lose, or what I'm saying, why have I not tried to do something similar? Because a lot of people don't realize that regardless, you could choose to believe or not, but it's all at the end of the day, it's gonna always be up to you to find out the easy way or the hard way. That regardless, God gonna be there. So you can believe in Him or not. But I've had my own testimony, so I definitely condone you.
And talking about my bad, didn't mean to. And talking about all that, like, because most of us we're like born into Christianity or any type of religion, especially in the Bible Belt. But like, whenever you were locked up, I don't know how many times you were locked up or how long you were, but like, is that where you really found your God, or was it afterwards? Like,
No, I can say my mom is when I was growing up and stuff. I saw her going to church, and she had a lot of friends in ministry, and so I had seen a lot of things as far as going to church with her, some real spiritual moving stuff that most people wouldn't believe. So I got a glimpse of it when I was young.
Yeah.
So I always had that faith instilled in me, and not just her. That goes back to my great grandmother. And she made sure that we all knew about God and Jesus.
Yeah, for sure, sure. Wow.
So, yes, and they instilled that in us, and so with that, I always knew that. But the questioning is that when things continue to happen in your life, and it's not the drugs or not the running, but different things in your life, and then you start to wonder, where is this God?
Yeah.
And Yeah, and so, you know, you start, I guess this is where my relationship grew. You know, I started talking to him. I would walk the streets, 12, 13 years old, walking these streets back and forth, just talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And not addressing who that somebody is.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
So I know building the faith, but
Yeah.
can I tell you that when I went to jail, I believe that that's when my encounters with him really came in.
Really?
And my spiritual gifts
Wow.
were instilled in jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so cool, wow.
Having time to reflect on everything.
Yes.
And then, you only have nothing but time when you in there.
Yeah.
So what are your future plans for the church?
Well, our future plans is to continue to build the shelter. We are working on rebuilding the shelter. And in the front will be our education building, and in the back will be the homeless shelter. And we will require the participants to come to a service. Will we force, no, we won't force religion, but we will teach the principles of the Bible and helping people grow in that area.
Yeah.
So with that,
There's a lot to learn from the Bible as well. I mean,
so there is.
it's not nothing wrong with receiving the word. Is definitely a tool that can help you more than it can hurt you. Well, that does sound nice, though. I mean, especially anything that help someone, especially kids. I mean, I can't see no wrong in that. It sounds like some real nice plans you're about to install. Hopefully, we can do anything that would help further that, as far as getting the word out that you definitely could use a little help on doing something to bring more positivity, especially to the community. Because that's one thing I feel like Ardmore lacks is leaders. So it's enough followers around here. So that's why we had to come interview you to find someone that we could feel like could touch on both bases. That there is trials and errors in every situation. But I mean, unless you can do it on your own, I mean, God gonna always be there for you if you feel like you ain't got nobody else to talk to, and you ain't got to worry about him telling his secrets. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to get the word out there that there's positivity out here that needs to be spreaded, and there's people out here that's trying to make a change, and that's definitely about making a difference.
That's what this podcast is all about.
You got any?
Yeah, I just want to talk more about, like, what do you need for the homeless shelter? Like, what could people do to help? And what kind of stuff are you doing? Like, you was telling us about the nacho cell and the garage sales.
Okay, so right now we're at the building phase. We tore down, and now it's time to build back up. And so we're doing our fundraising, and we do the garage sales. Think about this. So we were doing garage sales when it was more. Now we're doing nachos. And, in front
Food
of
drives.
American Freight.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Harbor Freight.
American Freight.
It's American.
Oh,
See,
Furniture store.
I sent everybody to Harbor Freight the first day.
I would have done the same thing.
We'll put the address on there. in the
Gotta put
description.
that. It should be.
In the description, yeah.
So we do, but we do nachos, hot dogs, popcorn, and now we've got this open grill. We might even do hamburgers.
Sounds nice.
That's good.
That would be amazing.
I was telling them earlier about Miley, all the stuff she does, and how she had that deal with Amazon.
Oh
Yeah.
She was, that'd be cool to put her on here.
Yeah.
But it'd be hard to get her to talk.
Oh, that would be. You have to get your mom on here for that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But I do. I have a supportive kids. You know, I'm trying to bring my kids up in this new day to give back. And you know, they say it's like we're begging for money, but we're really not. You know, we are doing fundraisers, so in turn we will take that money and we will do something good with it. And we're going to build a shelter, and that is, you know, it's not given to us. We've earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
Years doing
And you said you was gonna put education in the shelter? Like, what is that, like a study hall or like a kindergarten or something?
No,
Are you talking about for like older women?
so we have,
Like a GED type ordeal.
so, yes, GD and
Okay.
those kind of things.
That's dope.
Well,
That's a good idea.
the area that we're in is not one of the best neighborhoods, and it's in the southeast of Ardmore.
Oh, yeah.
And where I feel, and this is what I see bringing hope to the neighborhoods of where there has been dope,
Yeah.
where there is dope, where
Yeah.
there is fast living, and then where there is no hope.
Mhm.
And we can bring that stuff, right, bring hope right there to them, and let them see education is just next door.
Yeah.
And we're here,
Exactly,
we're
yeah.
willing to help.
It's right
And-
around the corner.
Yes,
Definitely.
educate,
There's
we're.
a lot of people that missed out a lot of great opportunities
Yeah.
just because they didn't do something as simple as getting their GED. So
And plus, like, when you think about it,
That's a
like,
good
it's
idea.
almost a generational problem, like, because their parents will show no initiation with trying to get their children to, you know,
Oh, it's a
go for it.
generational
Yeah.
This COVID thing really with the TV. I mean,
Yeah.
with doing the learning off homeschooling and
Yeah.
Zooming. Yeah, definitely there has to be a better way of getting your kids to realize that.
Mhm.
You're only gonna be in that house for so long before like you 18 and 19, and like
Yeah.
if you don't set up your life now to have a platform to stand on in your future, you're gonna be out here struggling with everybody else and living
Yes.
paycheck to paycheck. Like I used to be one of those kids out here, like couldn't wait to be grown. I lived a little
Talking about bringing hope.
story myself that
Kids
I
hope
feel
this
like
thing.
I've been down that road. It's 5 or 6 times, and at the end of the day, I've come to realize that, man, without no platform, it's hard to stand in this world. I mean, because
Yeah.
there's stereotypes, there's the blocks of just not knowing how to comprehend in certain situations, certain jobs that just they can just tell you're not qualified. Like you
Yeah.
just don't even sound like you know what's going on, and man, you can lie about some stuff you think you know, and go out there and hurt yourself and be really messed up, lose a hand because you trying to get a job and not even knowing the criteria.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not even properly trained for such a situation, and nobody want to be stuck at McDonald's and
But that's the thing. That's another thing I always touch on. Like a lot of people is not properly trained for nothing. And that's what I was saying to you. We could do a segment like if you want to talk about taxes, because you taught me about all that.
Really?
I never know nothing about taxes until
Yeah.
I
No.
felt like we went to school.
They
I was
just
on the
throw
phone
you
for 2 hours
to the
talking.
you can do
Was on the phone
that.
for
You
2
can
hours
teach
talking
that
about
in your educational, along with the classes that you teach. It could be like a part-time, like after GED classes, we got the teaches you finances and taxes and stuff. It's
They should do that, but they don't. Yeah, they throw you out to the wolves, and yeah.
the fact that if you could teach that in your classes, that would actually like put you a step ahead of most classes that don't even teach that. A lot of places they throw you out there for the wolves. You're right.
Yeah.
There's out there, we have the lady that is gonna help me, she was actually working down at, one of the, businesses downtown, and she did a financial literacy, financial literature, sorry, I did it wrong. But she said financial literature is what she did, and she would teach things like that, budgeting and how to do a bank account,
Those
how
are
to
the
write
real
checks.
essentials.
Yeah, that's what you really need. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, because growing up and not being able to fill out something is it might be simple to some people, but it's a lot of people that can't even fill out an application for a house or for an apartment. You
Or a
might see
loan,
some
a bank
words,
loan,
yeah,
yeah.
you might see some words and just be like, and
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help your case if you're trying to get something filed correctly and you're asking the person who you're filing it to. That's just like, oh, I can tell you anything. And I'm not saying that it's professional, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you give the upper hand when you're put in a situation where you're the one who's lacking the info on how such things should work. So yeah, I mean, the more you bring to the table, you just sharpening the knife for that person to be able to. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here. Like you gotta have education. That's why one of the main things we definitely want people to understand that a part of the three Musketeers' main goals is to enforce that we about gaining education over anything and being a leader. We got too many followers out here.
Yeah.
Like, if everybody start walking off the cliff, it ain't gonna be too many people living. Everybody want to follow.
And like talking about the education, how important it is nowadays. Like I was reading a book a couple of years ago, and the first man in American history to ever have a salary of $1 million a year, he dropped out of school when he was 8 years old. You just can't do that anymore nowadays. You have to really strive and try to get into the education and push forward. Like it's so completely different nowadays, especially with like the way America has shifted towards like how money hungry everybody is. Like they're not just gonna do that anymore.
People respect money.
Yeah.
People don't respect like integrity, or people don't respect like
silver tongue. You can talk yourself out of it. Yeah, like
they respect money. Whoever has the most money is really important. And that's the thing. That's what these kids look at too. Like that's why they feel like they gotta be rappers or athletes and
drug dealers.
They don't wanna have regular jobs because they think it's not good.
Slow money.
Cool. So there's gotta be some people to show that there is.
Yeah.
Slow money help you grow money, man. All money ain't good money either. That's a lot of people's mistakes is trying to get it the easy way. Like at the end of the day, it definitely depends on, because the quicker you get it, the quicker you can lose it. And I mean, especially if you just getting all this money and don't have no goals or no responsibilities, you're just blowing it. And then at that point, when you do become in a situation or be thinking back like, dang, I had like over $3,000 and I sit here and was worried about PlayStations and Jordans instead of a slight investment as far as learning how to do something like investing in stocks.
Exactly.
Or just know how to get an LLC and go look at these houses out here that might be vacant or was something happened where they took the house, condemned it, and you can get it for $14 and you got 5 or 6, 7 homeboys that's out here doing nothing with their life. When you can get them LLCs, teach them like off of YouTube videos. Y'all can go in there and literally, it's your house. What do you got to lose? You can literally knock this house down if you Indian and get a house built on that land, and then if that's however it works out, if that's your house, you can rent that house out, or you can have a house built for your generations, your kids that's coming up. Leave something besides like a pair of Jordans. What you think? Yeah, what you think your kids gonna do in this world whenever you pass away and you ain't left them nothing? They gotta bury you. That's $15,000, and then all you got is material, shoes, clothes, watches. Your V-long shirts, what they gonna do with that? Give them, if you got a daughter, her boyfriend gonna steal it. Now all your memorabilia gone. She ain't got nothing to remember you by. So I mean, like, when I think, I'm trying to think in a mindset of surrounding myself with people that got life goals or responsibilities, or if I feel like, man, if this the guy I'm around, they say like, this is, if they're doing this is what you're going to be end up doing for the next, in 5 years from now, and this is what you're going to be looking forward to doing.
Yeah, I've heard people say if you walk in a place with it's you and 4 other people who are drug dealers, everybody's going to assume you're a drug dealer. Yeah. But if you walk in with 4 other millionaires, or whatever, everybody's going to assume you're a millionaire.
That you must be equally yoked.
Let me see, at the age of 12, I had an officer sit down. He told me, he said, Miss Perry, you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life.
Damn, 12? Wow.
Yeah. He said, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life.
Dang.
And from that day, I think he put a mindset in my head. He put like a stigma on me that was my destination.
Yeah.
That was my destination. So I stayed doing the same thing over and over because he said I'm going to prison, so I'm gonna go to prison. I'm going.
I know exactly what you.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And so I continued to do that. But one thing I learned along the way was, you can do good, but I always did wrong too. Yeah. So I straddled the fence every time. So I was messing with drugs. I was dabbling with the drugs and selling drugs, and I had goals.
Yeah.
goals was always to get more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was my goals, and I always thought, I can buy this or I can buy that, and and I would buy different stuff. Yeah, I'd even try to save the money.
Yeah, it's all, no.
They always got it.
Yeah.
They got every bit of it. Every time I get in trouble, they get it
Yeah.
and some.
Yeah, you ever
Fast
see-
money.
But I
Have
feel
you
like the
seen-
age of like 12, like for us to want to start that young at like 12 or anything, that's because it's praised.
It is
It's a
crazy.
product of our environment.
Yeah.
It goes a lot with being a follower. So you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. That's
And
what
plus,
all
like-
it stems from. The people we looked up to. I mean, because our generation is 80 babies or was 70 babies. Like they grew up in an area where crack was right there and they ain't have no choice but to see it. So a lot of people wasn't taught work ethic. We was given that paycheck to paycheck mentality. And then most people, not having both parents in the house, that plays a big part of it. So I mean, not having nobody positive in your life, like you said, you straddling the fence because, I mean, selective thinking comes from suggestive speaking. When somebody, even from a kid, when you tell a kid, sit down, you bad, or quit touching that, you bad, that kid
Yes,
begins
I agree.
want to idolize that, well, if I'm not doing nothing to where I'm being called bad, then I'm not being me. So it's kind of like, that literally stems from everything. If he comes as selective, because he kind of like implanted that negative seed in your head and it just grew and grew and grew.
And everybody else was doing it, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Product of your environment, the people that you surround yourself with. That's why you got to break the chain, which is always.
I had teachers telling me don't even bother trying anymore. Like I've had cops tell me the same thing, but I've only been arrested once, but they were still trying to make me tell me I was going to become a drug addict and all kinds of horrible stuff. Like,
So when you decided to go like full time on the counseling, do you think you had support, or do you think people looked at you because your background different?
I had more support. Like I said, I was straddled that fence. I had to come to terms with myself in that I can't do anything. I can't look back. I can't look left or right. I got to look straight ahead. You're right, my support is what changed because no longer could I look to the people that were closest to me. I had to look to new people, and new that was friends that I met in my recovery. I met in church, and I can't surround myself around people that are comfortable with for too long.
Yeah.
You fall back in those.
Well,
it's a temptation.
it is a
Yeah.
trigger. Well, it could be a trigger, but it's also, you get your
You get too
idle,
comfortable.
your idle thoughts.
Mhm.
Those
You-
thoughts get to rolling in your
Get
mind.
The wheels get to
easy
turn.
right back into the same.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Little-
Yeah.
The support was what it was, and so I put I put my mind into it, and then started following the support. But I was glad that I have an accountability partner, and that was where Ted came in at. He's a pastor, but he's also my accountability partner. If I'm doing something wrong, he's going to tell me. If my attitude is wrong, he's going to tell me. If I think it doesn't matter who it's to, he's going to tell me it's not right.
That comes with vibes as well. Like if I'm having a good day and I'm picking you up from work and you had a stressed day at work, you can get in my car and you slam my car door. Okay. You don't like the song I got on. You want to turn the music down and you just turn it all the way off. I'm like, all right, I get it. You had a bad day. I turn it up a little bit. And then you get on the phone with whoever has been bothering you, you talk to them and you get off the phone and you just cussing, you got an attitude. I'm just like, hey bro, like I get you having a bad day, but I'm not trying to hear that. Like your negativity will start to rub off on me, and if your negative energy is stronger than my positive energy, now we're both negative in the car. So you definitely gotta it's just like knowing your surroundings at all times. You got to be aware of not only just the people you got around you, but the environments that you in. Like that energy can just be in a room. I mean, it could be like, you ever felt like I'm a good person, and then when I come home, I'm just like, I don't even be here. I got attitude. I walk in, there's kids in the house. I don't even know who are y'all. Like, why is my house dirty? Like, it could be not just people, but environments that could just be negative. That you might just need to move to another house, and everything might just open up for you. It's just
When that's going on, I feel like there's something going on within that person, and that's where their life, some things that's going on with their lifestyle.
I've known some people who spent like a good like years moving, like they probably lived in a place for about a year and a half and move, but then like they would get on like antidepressants, and then all of a sudden they were content with where they lived. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's a form of depression that people are coping, they cope with, like by moving, thinking this environment will help me and then this house will help. Like, that's just kind of what I gather from seeing people do that type of thing, and I'm sure there's probably some connection between it,
some houses can just hold that negative energy.
Yeah.
And stability is definitely one thing. If a person doesn't grow up with stability, then being able to be stable in their adulthood is hard. And so it feels normal for me to be in one place for 1 minute, and then once things start to feel comfortable, it doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Everything, because now there's structure, and structure doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So now I gotta go find that abnormal thing, and that is move to a different place, and that's what we call self-sabotaging.
So you feel like if it's too comfortable that you're gonna get too comfortable and something could go wrong, so you feel like you're not on your toes anymore.
Yeah.
So you feel like
There's people
having a
like
little
that.
sense of like almost struggling to live paycheck to paycheck is that drive you need to be like, all right, I know if I don't get up for work, like I can't afford to fall off on one paycheck, because then the bills, like everything could go out of whack. I got to, like, I need that wake up and push every morning. Like, if you know, like, I could miss a week, or like I could call in for the first 3 days, or you know what I'm saying, like something like that. You just feel like that you get too comfortable, like you lose your drive to want to get up and go get shit done.
I can do that. Like, I have tons of PTO hours. I got 180 PTO hours. I could use that. People take advantage of that where I work. People take advantage of that all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, but I don't, because I can't give myself that kind of room, because I know how I am. I know my mentality. I don't like to feel like I'm doing without, and I don't like to, like you were saying, feel like, oh, no, I can get behind, because for me, that is a trigger. And that is something that will set me like, oh, no, I gotta do something, I gotta do something, I gotta make up for that. So I don't give myself that kind of leverage. So I keep myself on that routine of, matter of fact, I overwork, because I'm there hours that I don't even get paid for, so, but I don't give myself that. I keep myself on a routine as I go to work. Even though I know I got this to it, I got 180 hours with PTO that I could take, I'm using that for, my kids' vacation.
You gotta stay constant grinding.
Yeah.
And also, like, what if you use all your PTO time because you want to take off work all of a sudden, but then all of a sudden you have a family emergency?
Exactly.
Then what? Yeah.
Well, like the holidays, we're closed for holidays. Hey, I got PTO time. I can still get paid.
Get paid, yeah.
And they're
And
closed.
still make money.
Wow.
That's a good way to.
Yeah.
To look at it as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, so take my PTO, you can still pay me for this closed holiday. I got
Yeah.
it. But that's the thing, is like, people could get, and there are people that get comfortable with that, not going to work and then take 2 or 3 weeks off. But it's that thing, is you just got to stay on routine, and that's part of, structure.
It goes back, like you said, you gotta know yourself.
Yeah, knowing yourself.
Mm.
Other than, I went to school, and I did graduate with my counseling, but right now, it's not just about, to me, it's not counseling. I just like hanging out with these people, because, most of them everybody I deal with is in recovery. I go from one sober living house to the next, well, 2 of them, the ones that will support me. But I go to them, and, we're friends, and it's not a group anymore. We're just sitting there, we're just talking about life choices.
So that's one of your main goals, is that you're reaching out to help anyone that needs help in general.
Yes.
So if you could go back in time and tell your 12-year-old self something, would you change it at all, or would you let it run its course just the way it did?
Gotta let it run its course.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, because it could completely turn into a whole new
You
thing.
wouldn't
like-
know what you know now.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Like it's such a
Okay.
yeah.
Wouldn't have the
I
same
think really
drive.
for my routines and structures, like,
Yeah.
cause I'm the same way. I gotta stay on a routine or like a structured routine, or else I start going crazy.
Yeah.
One thing I haven't been able to break is getting somewhere on time. That's even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
I can't get there on time.
Oh my god.
But yeah, and I like that. If you ever watch the morning show, they've got it's called Note to Self.
Mhm.
And yeah, I guess I would probably say that, Note to Self. And I think there's a lot of them out there. If y'all ever pull it up on YouTube. They've
Yeah.
got some good documentaries on Note to Self. But I would say, I don't know if I would change anything, but then there's some things you think about and you would say, yeah, that one I might have listened on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I tell my kids now, hey, y'all don't have to make those mistakes.
Mhm.
Because I've made enough mistakes for you, your grandkids,
Yeah.
and their grandkids.
To learn from.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't have to make them, so just keep going. If you want to know about it, just ask.
Yeah.
I would look
Wow.
at that situation in particular, like those are like blueprints to life right there.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, that's another form
learn
of
from your
generational
parents' mistakes. And like break the generation curse. That's one thing that I think as parents we should definitely kind of bring to the table to our kids. Like generational curses exist, and I don't want you to have to like carry the torch on something that's been burdening the family for like generations. Like I feel
Yeah.
like one of my family's generation curses not being able to successfully keep a relationship, like or no one ever really getting married in the family, or not being able to stay together until their kids are, you know, at the right age for you to split. Like it's only like one auntie in my whole family that actually like married and was together while her kids, you know, actually grew up. So like
Yeah.
to me that's like you know, being the first to go to college in the family, like dang, like that's and that shouldn't even be like something like to be glorified. So definitely generation curses, like, you know, it's people who wasn't there for their kids because they felt like they were more involved in trying to be loved, or, you know, because their parents never was together, or, you know, if you don't teach your daughter how to be respected as a young woman, she grow up with daddy issues, like you just started another generation curse.
Yeah. Or
'Cause
you
that's not
treat-
you, it's not a young boy, it's a young woman. So now
Yeah.
you got a daddy issue generation curse that
Yeah, exactly.
she's gonna embark that in her daughter, that, you know, it just trickles downhill. It's a pyramid at this point, and it's just the relationship curse on top of not having both of your parents, and then like she's not liable to stay with her kids' father because she grew up in a house where her mom was like with this person or with that person, or so it's like we gotta nip it in the bud, man. If we don't, like our kids, that we take the whole our future way out of the equation. I mean, they already grow up in a cyber world that's materialistic and soft. So we definitely.
Well, the way I explain this to my daughter, she struggles with religion, and so she's tapping into other spiritualities.
Yeah.
So I
stuff.
don't know which ones, but I explained to her that I look at life like this, and I look at my my religion like this. This is me right here if I continue to live life on the wrong side and straddling that fence that I used to straddle, doing right and wrong at the same time, hoping to get good results. This is me. This is my life. But if I live life like this longer finger here, and doing the next right thing, and continuing, and maybe it's not so much doing the really religious thing, but doing the best that I can do and doing the right thing, doing the next right thing, then my life, I have a little bit more life here.
Go ahead.
And I explained to her, you look at this and see how much more is on this finger compared to this pinky finger. And see, I might have a little more time with my family. I might have some freedom out here. I might have, you know, there's more positives that could happen. And then in the end, to find out that the way I lived my life this way was right. Rather than to live life this way and find out my whole everything was cut short and everything there. Yeah, I wished I'd have listened because now it's eternity.
Yeah.
So
That's beautiful, yeah.
she'll take it.
I
You
like that
you gotta
analogy.
give kids that room to
Grow.
Yeah.
grow. And
You
then-
can plant a seed, but it determines.
gotta plant them early.
It determines how long it takes to grow. I mean, it could hit her when she's 18, it could hit her when she's 35, but it's never too late to really, you know, take in what, like, even in then, like, you could still take in the values that you teach her. And if she doesn't follow the exact same religious code line, she could still, you know, treat people the way she would want to be treated and help people and just do everything, you know, like, yeah, just like that.
And that's the thing, and that's the hard thing that people have with religion is being able to, you know, we want the tangible thing. We want what we can touch, what we can taste, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can, you know, smell. That's what we want. But then when you get to know and you get comfortable with and trust in the unknown, those things come. And that's what's called the Spirit. When the Spirit comes, He will come. You will hear Him. You will feel Him. He'll give you a sweet taste in your mouth. And you will, you know, it all comes on you.
Wow.
But you have to trust, and you trust in what is the unknown. In time, that trust turns into faith. Faith turns into being a faith-filled person.
For sure.
He comes on, and it will come on you.
Yeah.
And that's what He left with us, is the Spirit. He said, I will leave with you the Spirit, which is your comforter.
Yeah. Wow.
So, so with that, you know, I believe that, you know, everybody will find their way in time.
One way or another.
Like I said, at 12, I was told I was destined for prison.
Yeah.
But it didn't, all that didn't find me, and I didn't find my life on life's terms until I was 32.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So, yeah, about 20 years, yeah. In that 20 years, you had to learn a lot of hard life lessons, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. It's kind of poetic in a way.
Well, we definitely appreciate you letting us interview you.
Yeah, we're
been
getting close to the end.
Inviting us
It's
to
been
the church.
a nice interview. We definitely got to learn a little more about you. Hopefully, we can help spread the word that you are out here spreading positivity, and that if there's a will, there's a way. And definitely, if you are someone who is in need of help, don't mind coming to the church. You definitely, like we said, we're gonna try to get the link up or the address to show y'all where the church is at. She doesn't mind helping, and that there's people out here that do need help or need sense of direction, and we're here to bring those people together. So hopefully, the people who watch this, y'all are able to take from this and learn from not only your own mistakes, but the people that's close to you. I'm sure everybody has somebody in their life that they've watched go down the wrong road a couple times, and see where they're at in life. And you can always choose to follow them because you idolize them, or choose to be better than them because you want to do different. So
Yeah, for sure. And that's really the main message of this whole podcast that we're doing. And we're just trying to, we're just trying to show people that there are other ways around here than either going path A or path B. Like, it's almost infinite, like the paths you can go on, and it's great. You got anything to say, Chuck?
First episode, I'm glad we got it out the way. It's kind of nerve-wracking for me.
Oh, you did
But,
great.
Yeah, I'm ready to do plenty more.
Yeah. We appreciate you, and we plan on having you on later podcasts too, because you're just really wonderful to talk to.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invite.
No problem. All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Good stuff.